Hey, good evening. Welcome to the No-Show. The No-Show, which happens. Hey, Gornwitz, are you coming up? Hey, buddy. So the No-Show, hey, it happens every night at 9, right here on YouTube. Hello, I'm Ethan Hirschenfeld. I'm your host. I'll be your host for this entire episode. These episodes happen. Oh, big yawn. Okay, licking the forehead. This helps. So, what are you scratching? Hey, Hildy, what are you scratching? All right, so what happens on the show is I get a a lingual canine dermabrasion to my forehead and to my ears, which is really wonderful for sculpting, conditioning, rehydrating, and rejuvenating the skin. It really does wonders for the complexion. You know, people say to me, Ethan, how is your skin so skin-like? Your skin is like, it's like the skin of a baby dolphin. How do you keep your skin like the skin of a baby dolphin? And I tell them, well, it's really quite simple. You just have to you just got to get Gornamant's or some dog of your choice. He is available. Um, you can go to his Instagram and schedule a treatment. He also functions as a ukulele tuner. He really knows. So what I discovered when I was getting ready to do the show this evening. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Blue Lady. Hello, Mother. Hello, Neurogeezer. Hello, Richard. Nice to see you. Yes, Pinky. That's right. Pinky was my character on that show. Hello, Pinky, short for Pinchas. So, in fact, the casting director, she suggested that name for the character, and the writers went with it. That was the story I heard directly from the casting director. The casting director. I got a new situation. I'm developing a lateral lisp. So I'm going to be speaking about a lot of words with the letter S. Suspicious. Suspiciously. No, I'm wearing a retainer. I got a retainer. I finally finished that year and a half of Invisalign. So my choppers are ready for the big screen, even though I'm only on the little screen. No, who's on the big screen anymore? Hill, did you want to come up before I explain to my lovely audience? By the way, I love you guys. It's great to see you every night. Hey, do you want to come up? Are you going to come up and say hello to everybody again? Come on. Are you coming up, Hildy? Come here. Come here. Come on. Oh, yes. Oh, here you go. Here she comes. Here comes the big baby. There she is. Oh, hello. Oh. So what I wanted to tell you is something I just discovered about the song that I opened with. So first, it popped to mind because that song will pop to mind when the warmer months arrive and everybody's watching baseball and talking about baseball and playing baseball. Honestly, it's not much of a tune. We can be honest. It's like a novelty tune. But what I just saw, I was checking, first of all, to see if it was public domain. Sure enough, it is public domain. It's from 1907. It's a very old tune. But what I saw, and I want to follow up on that, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, a 1908 Tin Pan Alley song by Jack Norworth and Albert von Tilzer. It has become the unofficial anthem of North American baseball. Although neither of its authors had attended a game before writing the song. That's cool. The song is traditionally sung at the 7th inning stretch. Oh, she's looking for more. Hildy, are you looking for more books to chew on? Huh? Are Are you going to chew on more books tonight? Oh, boy. But what I saw is that the music is public domain. The reason I whistled it in the opening is that it's a public domain song musically, but the words are not public domain. Hildy, come on, get away from me. Get away from me. What is she looking? You know, I can tell her taste in literature. Tonight she's looking Buddenbrooks by Thomas Mann. So last night it was Thomas Hardy, Jude the Obscure. It was Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist thinker, writer, poet, and monk. It was Wagner librettos, or libretti, if you like. And but tonight she started licking a little bit of Thomas Mann, and she's yawning. Yeah, this book makes people yawn. It makes dogs yawn also. My friend read this in college, senior year. He had it on his bookshelf. There'll be no Thomas Mann for you. I've never read this book. I did read during the pandemic. I read The Magic Mountain, Zauberberg, Der Zauberberg, and it's one of those really great pandemic and disease pieces of literature. There's The Plague by Camus, and there's The Magic Mountain, where this guy goes to a sanitarium. He goes to, I guess, a sanatorium up on top of a mountain in Switzerland. It's really good. It's kind of a comedy and a tragedy. It was good. So I recommend it. Next time we have a pandemic, I recommend reading those two books. All right. So she's really interested in eating these books. Hildy, what are you? Hey, there's more Thomas Mann down there. She liked Wagner and she likes the German literature. Hildy, you got to get at it. She doesn't seem to like my book. Hildy, do you like my book? This is a little plug. Let's see if she likes it. Huh? Do you like this? Oh, she tasted it. I don't think it was for her. Well, you're not alone. It wasn't a bestseller. All right. So here's what we learned about these words. It seems really kind of it seemed kind of racy. Here are the public domain lyrics. The 1908 lyrics, which are in the public domain. So the verse is, Katie Casey was baseball mad. Katie Casey was baseball mad. I wonder if she's related to Casey at the bat. Katie Casey was baseball mad, had the fever and had it bad. Just to root for the hometown crew, every sow Katie blue. That seems weird. Every sow, S-O-U. What does that mean? Anyway, on a Saturday, her young beau called to see if she'd like to go to see a show, but Miss Katie said, no, I'll tell you what you can do. That's the intro. I'll tell you what you can do. Don't take me to a show, take me to a ball game. Oh, and then the lyrics are as we know them. So these are the public domain lyrics. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. By the way, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. Oh, Cracker Jack, yeah. I always thought it should be Cracker Jacks, but I guess Cracker Jack is just the stuff. Also, there are peanuts in Cracker Jack, so it's a little bit redundant. I guess this person really likes peanuts. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. There it is, 1908. Take me out to the old ball game. I haven't been to a ball game in years. I find that the ball games have become really, I don't want to sound like an old communist, but they've become way too commercialized. The music really loud. The snacks really expensive. The music really loud. And constant wall-to-wall music. There's never a lull. I had that also last time I was at 20 years ago, I went to a San Diego Padres game when I was singing out in San Diego. And I was amazed. It was just constant. It was like the whole event was DJ'd. And then, of course, there's someone with like a cannon shooting T-shirts at you. And then at every break, there's a different dance crew or someone or something going on. It's overproduced, man. Everyone should just chill out. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, you play the banjo, Richard. That's cool. Neurogeezer gives a very astute tip for what to do about Hildy. You agree with Kirsten. Move the books out of reach. Yes, but it's a lot of books and she's got a lot of reach. That's the problem. So one thing I could do is I could just put barriers like this little area. There are no rooms in this apartment, but we could put little barriers so she didn't really have access to the library. So, yeah, but you're absolutely right. She needs a little education. Don't we all? Swing low, sweet chariot. This is another song about swinging. The last song, the baseball song, was also about swinging a baseball bat. This is about swinging a chariot. And then the third song will be about spouse swapping, the swinger lifestyle. Stay tuned for that towards the end of the show. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me. That sounds scary. A band of angels coming after me. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home, tell all of my friends I'm a coming in too, coming for to carry me home. That's a sweet song about death and the afterlife. A death that's not final, a death that includes a rebirth. If you can get on board with that message, what sweet solace that sweet chariot would provide. I personally can't, but I have I have respect and admiration and a little envy for people who can. Is that a cop-out when you say, oh, I'm not religious, but I really have I wish I could be? Maybe that's a cop-out, because I think people who have faith, they struggle with it. And people who don't, people like me, atheists like myself, probably make the incorrect assumption that the people who have faith came by it easily or naturally. So I'm willing to own up to that. There's the potential for a little bit of pomposity in one's atheism. Although there's also the potential for pomposity in one's religiosity. So I guess it's just like generosity. Generosity can be found among the poor and the rich. The generosity is the question. It's not a question of whether you have a ton of dough or don't have a ton of dough. If you're generous, you're generous. And if you're stingy, you're stingy. Similarly, I imagine that, well, I know it. There are religious people who are pompous, and there are atheists who are pompous. And there are religious and atheists who have humility and empathy for whatever other people are going through and believing. There, I've said it. Okay, I want to say something else. This is a book that I picked up just by chance at the transfer station in Truro. Transfer station is just a fancy way to say the dump, as I've pointed out. This is by Robert Coles, and it's really, I'm liking it. He was a professor in college when I was there. I didn't take his course. I regret not having taken his course, and but he taught a course that was very popular. I think in the English department, and he was a child psychiatrist and a thinker and a writer. And this title caught my eye because it's called The Political Life of Children. Robert Coles. The Political Life of Children. The reason it caught my eye is because I've had a long time aversion to people bringing their kids to political rallies. I think it began when I saw someone in my own family, a very little kid, a toddler, at an anti-war march. And it was a toddler who was holding a sign that said, "No blood for oil," which I happen to agree with the sentiment. At the time, I was a little bit unsure what was, where I stood, but not on the idea, of course, blood for oil, not a good trade. It's really not fair. Also, it's hard to gauge whether it's a good trade or not, because the markets for oil are very public, and you can at any given moment you can look up the price of a barrel of crude, but you can't look up the price of a barrel of O positive or A negative. So it's hard to know. If you are trading blood for oil, it's hard to know if you're getting a good deal. In any case, I saw a tiny relative of mine, a photo from the march, holding a sign that said "No blood for oil," and I thought, it's not right, because when a parent just puts their political beliefs on a kid who's too young to understand it. That was my take anyway. And it reminded me of seeing like fascist kids, like Hitler Youth, or any extremist organization. You see the kids who really get on board with it, because they get on board generally with whatever their parents are into at that age. You just kind of ape your parents' opinions, and you can be very passionate about them. But so, my assumption about the kid not really being able to understand the message, it might not really be true if the message is simple enough. And in fact, I'm not very far into the book yet, but he makes the argument it seems, from all of his interviews. He interviewed kids in crisis zones around the world, including like Soweto and Belfast, and I think Nicaragua. And um, he makes the point that the kids really do have very strongly held political beliefs, and that they're an important part of what makes up a kid's mental life. So I'm enjoying that book. Also, I celebrate the serendipity of finding that book. I never heard of the book. I never would have looked for the book, and there it was, calling out to me at the transfer station. I agree, Kathy. We're heading that way with patriotic education. Yeah, it's a mess. James Hove says, replace the word God with the word compassionate being. I like that. I'll do that. Uh, compassionate being. Sure, I like that. And who better to be a compassionate being than you and I? Rebirth would be great, Kathy says, but all house cats' souls are already taken. That's the thing with rebirth. I don't think you get to choose. Although I guess in some Buddhist teachings, if you're able to maintain, that Book of the Dead, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, I think it teaches you the kind of different colors of light and the different experiences you have when you're in that in-between state. Maybe it's when you're in the bardo and your soul is kind of deciding what to do next. So maybe you could choose house cat. Yes, Richard, I'm sorry for all of that physical stuff you're going through. That's a real pain. Yes, Nuro Geezer, I agree. Patriotic education is maleducation. Yeah, we shouldn't be teaching patriotism. We should be teaching humanism. And yes, I've been hearing David Pakman. I watch that show pretty religiously. He's really great, and I've heard him plugging his book "Think Like a Voter," which again I think that's great because that doesn't. I didn't read it, but it doesn't seem to be patriotic. It's just it's about teaching kids to understand how democracy functions. So it's not rah 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 our country. It's rah 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 democracy. So I guess that is a little bit of inculcating political beliefs into kids, but oh yeah, thanks, Richard. Yeah, that short of the. I think you're talking about the short from that show last night. So I realized. So my friend Doug Safranek, who painted all those beautiful portraits, which you should go see at the Sugar Hill Museum if you can, for the next few months. Um, when I noticed in a photo from last night's show that my friend Ian, there were two portraits of Ian on the wall, and then I remembered. I thought, wait a minute, I think Doug painted me twice. And in fact, he did, but one of the portraits he gave to my mom. So my mom has one of Doug's little portraits of me. They're sort of like this size. Yeah, they're sort of like a real size head. I'm like this, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's this size. Um, and that one we did. I have these shirts that belonged to my grandfather that he never opened. These vintage shirts from the 30s or 40s, and they came. And there were also these tie and handkerchief sets in these these square cardboard boxes from like Macy's or something like that. So I wore one of the ties, the green one, for my audition for Pinky for that part in Boardwalk Empire. Um, and then when Doug said he wanted to paint me because he was painting different friends, I wore that tie. So that tie is in the portrait that's hanging at my mom's place. Oh, Schoolhouse Rock, yeah. I actually have that book of those songs here. Those are incredible. Schoolhouse Rock. We definitely need that now. Those, in fact, a lot of people in Congress, a lot of the people in Congress need to listen to those songs. Someone needs to hit them over the head with that book. Actually, no, I take that back. No one should be hitting anyone. But they should somehow get the lyrics of those songs through their crania into their brains so they understand what their jobs are. Or what their job is, I should say. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you away, you rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you away, I'm bound away. Across the wide Missouri. So, isn't the Shenandoah a valley? The Shenandoah also is in a mountain range. I long to hear you. You want to hear a mountain range or hear a valley? Is it the sound of a valley? What am I not understanding about this song? Oh, Shenandoah, I love your daughter. Okay, that took a weird turn. Away, you rolling river, for her I'd cross the rolling water. Away, I'm bound away, across the wide Missouri. Okay, we know this person is going to be crossing the Missouri River. Okay, but suddenly Shenandoah has a daughter? All right. Oh, Shenandoah, I'm bound to leave you away, you rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I'll not deceive you. Away, I'm bound away, across the wide Missouri. You know what? I'm as confused as I was at the beginning of that song. At first, I thought Shenandoah was a mountain range or like a valley. Then it's a guy or someone who has a daughter. And then it seems to be a valley again. All right. I'm going to have to read up on that song. American folk song, Shenandoah. Oh, a place can have a daughter. Okay. Neurogeezer, can you tell me more about that? How can a place have a daughter? Would that just be another place? So thank you, by the way, Richard, for that video. I appreciate it. Oh, Mother Earth. That's right. Mother Earth has children. Aren't we Mother Earths? Aren't we the children of Mother Earth? Mother Nature. Is Mother Nature the same as Mother Earth? Mother Nature, Mother Earth. These are things I don't know. Aha, a place has sons and daughters of people who were born there. Okay, so oh, Shenandoah, I love your daughter. Ah, okay, so a daughter of Shenandoah. So someone who was born there. Got it. Okay, thank you. Maybe that's why he wants to go back there. That's probably why. Or maybe the weather. The weather could be really nice. I'll be loving you always, with a love that's true always. When the things you plan need a helping hand, I will understand always, always. Days may not be fair always. That's when I'll be there always. Not just for an hour, not just for a day, not just for a year, but always, always, always here at 9. I'm here at 9 every night of the week, every day of the week, every night of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year. I'm here at 9 on the East Coast. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, your shoulders. Thanks for everything you bring to the show. Today I picked up this Torah scroll from a guy in South Williamsburg because my friend whose daughter's having her bat mitzvah on Saturday, he made a little connection, found a guy who had a thing, and so I went over there. And I had Hildy and I had all the dogs with me in the car. So it was fun driving over there with these dogs with their big heads sticking out of the roof. People, I think, they must have thought they were hallucinating. All right. Wishing everybody sweet dreams, and I will see you tomorrow night. Thank you for tuning in.